night, which means it's time for Wednesday Night Live. How's it going, everybody? Tons to get into tonight. So as we just inject this live stream with a bunch of positive vibes and energy, man, we'll let some people roll in. We're gonna be getting into all kinds of stuff. Wacky judges who think they're president. The Tesla craziness, the space mission with all the dolphins. That was pretty awesome. I hope you saw that. And much more. And deportations. Julie's here. Julie says hi. Julie, you're probably wondering, will they deport you when you're standing at the bar? Let's find out. They'll deport you when you're standing at the bar. They'll deport you when you're driving in your car. They'll deport you when you're standing in the rain. They'll deport you and put you on a plane. And you will not be all alone. Everybody must go home. Well, Tom Wood says, good evening, Michael. And Margaret says, hey, Ohio is here. And Barbara says, good evening, vibes. And Al says, hello from Massachusetts. And you will not be all alone. Everybody must go home. All right. People are snapping fingers. Good things are happening. Welcome aboard, everybody. I want to almost devote the entire show tonight. Who said get your pants on? Jay, don't you mislead these people. This is a no pants zone. This is a no pants area. So I want to go so much off of your comments tonight because I really want to see what you have to say. Bob, hoy hoy, and hopefully somebody we have some very smart, some very funny people who show up for these streams, and I love you. And for everybody on Facebook and YouTube and on X, thank you so much for sharing. That's how the growth has been going so very well. So hopefully we have a lawyer in here. Is there a lawyer in the house? Someone says, and we need our butts. Yes, we need our butts, and also not only are butts required, but we need way more boobs. That's why there's a balance. There's a balance. You got the Tuesday night tatas, and you got the Saturday booty. It's an equal opportunity acceptance area of the fine female form. There you go. All right. So first of all, let's good evening, everyone. Hello, Andrea. Or is it Andrea? You tell me. Hopefully someone is a lawyer in here. I was talking about this on the podcast. I went on at length because it drives. Here's what's driving me crazy. Here we go again. It's 2016 all over again. The Donald does an executive order. He's like, we're gonna take these gang members, these trendy agua people. I guess it's trendy. I call it trendy agua, and I think of rich women at the gym drinking bottled water. So the Donald is like, we're gonna take these trendy agua drinking people, these gang bangers, if you will. We're gonna send them back to their home country, and some judge is just like, whoa, buddy. How does that work exactly? I guess a judge can go, that's unconstant. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of every single time this administration, and this is why I say it's like 2016 all over again. They go to do something, and you find some judge in the frickin' suburbs of St. Louis or some ramshackle ass county somewhere who goes, hold your horses. I believe How does this keep happening to Trump, first of all? And it never happened to Biden. Like, it's what drives me absolutely bonkers. I don't remember, and does anybody recall? Did one judge say, hey, I think maybe you should close the border? Did one judge say, hey, this doesn't seem right? You're telling all these people in the army and in the armed services they have to get a jib jab if they want to keep their job, but you're letting all these people into the country. You're not even checking who they are. Like, that's fine. You can't, we couldn't find, I'm going to get so pissed off. We are a nation of laws. And if, here's what I was saying on the podcast, like, it just, what's the penalty? When a judge says, hold up, White House, they make it, and this is the joke that I was doing on the podcast. They act like it's just like the Donald who's like going, I just had a crazy idea. You know what I bet I could do? No, there's teams of lawyers like that put these things together at the White House. They're expert on constitutional law. They're experts on the separation of power. They're experts in this stuff. So if some judge in frickin' Wichita Ball Lick, Indiana goes, hey, I think I know more. I think I know more about running the military than you. Hold on. I don't think you can decide who gets to be in the military, Commander-in-Chief. I think Judge Dirty Bird McGee should decide that. What's the penalty? Because now it's like, oh, we have to keep everything as it is until we go to the highest court in the land, until we go to the Supreme Court. Like, I'm all about the rule of law, but this is just too much for me to take. Judge shopping, says Fish. And I guess, and so here's what I'm saying to you guys. We couldn't find one judge to do that to Biden. Like, isn't that a little bit disturbing? That like that while Uncle Joe, while crazy sleepy Uncle Joe was in there doing all kinds of stuff, like we couldn't find a judge to go, hey, well, you probably shouldn't do that. I don't recall that happening. I did meet the lawyer who took the jab case all the way to the Supreme Court and won. Supreme Court justices should stop the others from interfering with the president's executive order. That's what I think too. Unless that's like a clear, and this is the other thing. Oh, that's delicious. The law that the administration is going with is this Aliens Act. I guess there was like 4 parts to it, and 3 parts of it are gone, but there's one part from like 1790. This shit was written by John Adams. Like, legit, the founding fathers wrote this law. This has been on the book. This is people are like, oh, it's an ancient law. It's an ancient law. Well, so the Constitution is kind of ancient law. The Declaration of Independence is kind of ancient law, right? So shut up with that. And now this law that's been on the books since the very beginning of the country, practically, now all of a sudden, Judge Takey von Bribes a lot is like, I think they got it wrong. Like, that's some of the most ridiculous shit I think I've ever heard. Why are we? Don't even stop. Listen. When the Supreme Court told Sleepy Joe, hey, you can't frickin' play around and pretend like you're paying for college loan. You can't do that. Joe was like, I'm gonna do it anyway, and they said he was a hero. So, okay, Brad says, I'm not a lawyer, but I watched a bunch of smart ones today, and those rogue judges are overstepping their authority. Dude, it really seems this way. And here's the other one. That like Laura Loomer keeps finding this stuff. Laura Loomer, like some judge will pop up out of nowhere, like a freaking episode of Hee Haw, like just step up out of the corn. Hey, y'all, you're not doing that right. I said no pants. I said no pants. I mean it. I'll get so. Don't make me come over there. Don't make me come over there. So some judge will pop up out of the cornfield and be like, "Oh, this is all wrong. This is all wrong. Oh, you team of lawyers in the White House, you're all wrong." And me, Judge Yvonne, Judge a lot. I'm going to straighten this out. So there's no penalty for that guy for getting it wrong. And then Laura Loomer and other investigative journalists are finding out these guys like, hey, did you know that judge? His wife has like an NGO. Yeah, she has a little organization that's on the payroll with this USAID thing. Yeah, she's on the hook for like $23 million. Oh, the daughter does too. It's like it seems like everybody in DC has some kind of nonprofit that's getting hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars from the government. Instantly disqualify. Instantly. If you're a judge and you're about to like hit the buzzer and tell the Trump administration, hey, you got to stop what you're doing. Dude, if your wife or you or your brother or your brother-in-law or your daughter, any one of you people have your little fingers in the cookie jar of USAID, then guess what? Take your frickin' hand off the buzzer. You're not allowed to say shit. Shell O'Malley says, yes, exactly. It's wild. It's what, which makes, we're chugging right along. We're chugging along at a breakneck speed today because I want to get to all this stuff. People try to put us down just because we shut you down. Elon Musk is awful cold. Hope he gets them before they get old. Okay. 3 things. I'm going to act like you should write this down, but you don't need to write it down. And we still have to talk about JFK too. Holy crap. This might go long. Okay. So there still isn't an Epstein client list. I just want to keep that out there in the universe. I know everybody's like, oh, the JFK. Okay. Also, and it's like watching the Gavin Newsom magic hands thing happen in real time. Elon Musk was always part of the deal. When we voted for the Donald and we voted for JD and we voted for Tulsi and all, Elon Musk was always part of that deal. And now that he's doging it up, it is truly wild to watch. I got to take the guitar off for this because I'm going to get wild with my hands. It is truly wild to watch these morons go out and attack Tesla owners, Tesla dealerships. It really is a mental health check. I wrote a thing about this on the loftusparty.com. The violence that's coming from the left, which frankly I'm a little jealous of. I really am. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. It's got to be kind of fun, like during Black Lives Matter, just staying out late and just ripping stuff and I got a new TV. There's an appeal. You shouldn't do it. And the right, we never do. We didn't like Bud Light. We didn't like that Dylan Mulvaney. We didn't like that woke stuff. I don't remember. Nobody attacked a brewery. But no, okay. So it's a good test of where we are as a country, just like how many hardcore idiots are still here. Now, granted, they say some of them are being paid. Okay. I don't think a lot of them are. I think when you go to the protest and they have the signs and the signs have already been printed, yeah, somebody's paying for that. But when some dude is at like the Colorado Springs airport and he just goes by a cyber truck and just goes and jacks it all up, that dude's a freaking knucklehead. He's like a foot soldier, crazy person, and there's tons of them out there. Like way many. I still can't get over it. Like Elon Musk and Doge comes in and they go, just trillions of your dollars are being wasted. Trillions of your dollars are just gone, and it's horrible, and they're not going to want to quit. And these people are literally going out and attacking the messenger as if he was the bad guy. Like they've got like they're spitting venom. These people are so pissed off at Elon. And even if, like, let's just say you're young and you're idealistic and you're like, I want a bunch of my taxes to go for like trans ballets in Ecuador. That's important, bro. Okay, to that person, I would say, for the money that we spent on trans ballets, do you think you got your money's worth? Do you think? Do you think you got a $20 million ballet, or did you get like a $10 trans ballet that someone squandered all that money? Don't you want more trans ballet for your buck? None of that is Elon's fault. None of it. Of all the innocent people who were not involved in the trans ballet, I don't think Elon was in there choreographing. I'm pretty sure Marco Rubio and the Donald, they weren't part of it. There might have been Harry Sisson. He might have been in there. You might have a special guest appearance by what's this guy? Oh my gosh, I can see his face. He's the guy who's always in Ukraine. I'm a Republican. Okay. Okay. How good the President Trump took away Hunter and Ashley's Secret Service. The Biden administration, yes. I love that he did that. And like, listen, nobody go after Hunter. Nobody. I'll just say that publicly. Nobody, like the whole Biden. Let's just get them with the law. Let's just get them with the law. I think this auto pen story is going to be huge. I don't think you can use an auto pen on pardons. And I think, shouldn't the president at least have to press the button? Like, shouldn't he be in the same room with the auto pen? Shouldn't he was like on vacation? He was on vacation, and the auto pen is fired up back in DC. Who the hell was clicking print? That's what I want to know. I want to follow that story. And then here's the other thing. Do you remember when they wouldn't give Bobby Kennedy Jr. Secret Service? They wouldn't give him Secret Service. And then so Hunter, well, you guys, I got like 18. He's got like 18 Secret Service agents. I think that's more than they had in Butler, Pennsylvania. Are hunters, do hunters, were they allowed to be on sloped roofs, or was that too dangerous for them? That's another story. It's like the Epstein client list and the kid from Butler, Pennsylvania, crooks. Those are a couple stories that I'd really love to know more about. Jay says auto pen should not be allowed on pardons. Yeah, me too. I say that as well. Oh dear, Michael, I hadn't heard about the auto pen used remotely. Yeah, that's the big thing. And it's a pardon. Like That's the other thing. Like a lot of those pardons, when they were all coming out, you're like, really? He pardoned that person? Why? I say throw him off. Listen, I'm on record. I don't think Biden knew anything that was going on. I think like in the baseball record books, like for Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire, they have like a little asterisk because they were on steroids. That's what they should do with Sleepy Joe for his presidency. It should just be like, we're not really sure. I mean, his name was on the door, but I don't know. I don't think. And I said this on Gutfeld. And it seemed to resonate there too. Like there was a point when Robert Hur was investigating Sleepy Joe for something, and his findings was like, this guy's freaking out of it. He's gone. Or we're not going to put. Yes, he broke. It was the document. It was the documents. And he's like, yeah, the documents, totally guilty, but we're not going to put him on trial because a jury won't convict him because the guy, he's just, he's gone. So that's public record. It's not like I'm making that up. That's public record. He's like, yeah, he can't stand trial because he's out of it. Can that dude do any of his documents hold up? Like who was I wanted to know for the whole time who was running the country. I don't think it was Jill. Jill was too busy at Forever 21 looking for pantyhose. Biden was an empty suit and an empty head. The deep state ran his term. Yeah, pretty much. I agree. We're in agreement there, bucko. Okay. The deep state. Let's get to that because now we're into JFK territory, which I can't wait to talk to you guys about. So, do you think Dr. Jill is dating the 6'4" Biden double? I've seen those pictures. And it does look like two different people. It really does. But if Jill was, I wouldn't blame her. I wouldn't blame. You know what? In fact, that'd just be a good thing to have, right? If you could have like a body double of your significant other, that'd be great. You go to her and you're like, hey, you want to do a little bang, chicka, bang, bang? And she's like, I had a horrible day. I just want to go to bed. Maybe you could check with Irene, the body double. And you're like, hey, Irene, you're up. And she's like, okay, because it's two different, but they look exactly the same. So in your heart, okay, anyway, yes, I think Jill probably would. But who wouldn't? I'm not going to go out there. I'm living in a glass house. I'm not going to start casting stones, especially at two chicks who look alike. Unlike your friend Nancy Pelosi, she didn't know anything either, especially having her cocktails. I love you doing. Listen, let's do. I'm a little thirsty right now, so we can do a little bit of Nancy Pelosi before we talk about the John F. Kennedy files, because I was there with John Kennedy. That's when I started in politics. There's a picture of me as a very young person, and I'm with John Kennedy, and I'm like, I'm looking at his groinal area, but he's looking at Marilyn Monroe's booty butt, and it was a good one. And yeah, she did all the things. So let's have a little. Let's try to figure out what we're having tonight. Whoo! That is an Afghanistan sunrise. It's an and you're like, what's in an Afghanistan sun? It is 3 parts tequila, and then there is rum, and then for some strange reason there is an explosion of Everclear. So you're like, whoa! So it's like it takes you. It's like an explosion in the Middle East, which pretty much is all of the Middle East. There's power to the hand. There's a groinal area. Yes, Do your foghorn leghorn. I like how you guys are now just playing me like a jukebox. Your foghorn leghorn. Now, foghorn leghorn, that was actually, I love Looney Tunes cartoons. Just know that right out of the gate. I'll do a whole show just about Looney Tunes cartoons. Mel Blanc, the foghorn leghorn voice, was actually him doing an impression of an actor who was in a bunch of movies who was making fun of Southern politicians. So that whole thing, oh boy, you read too many long head books. That's like, I love, they were taking shots at freaking dumbass politicians even back then in the day. Fluff and A, I love the Nancy. Oh, you love it. I do enjoy the Nancy Pelosi. Here's what's wrong with you, boy. Foghorn Leghorn, and then we'll get to JFK, I swear. Foghorn Leghorn and Pepe Le Pew. When you're a little kid, it's just not funny. You're like, it's just not funny. But once you get older, you're like, that is some of the funniest crap I've ever seen in my life. Pepe Le Pew just wanting to get laid through no fault of his own. Pepe Le Pew was like the first one they canceled. And I will tell you this, a friend of mine in Los Angeles was going to be the voice of Speedy Gonzalez, and Speedy Gonzalez was going to be the face of remember the WB? The Warner Brothers had a TV channel, the WB, and it was going to be Speedy Gonzalez. Hey, we got Speedy, which would have been great. And then they went with that dumbass frog, which was perfect because the frog, when no one was looking, was hello, my baby, hello, my darling, hello, my sunshine girl. And then when people watched, he didn't do shit. Which is the perfect metaphor for the WB. Okay. Lori has a Pepe Le Pew keychain. That's awesome. Lori, you just have to be very careful. If you're ever crawling under a freshly painted fence, you have to make sure you don't get a white stripe down your back, Lori, or you never know what's going to pop out of those bushes. Just like, hello, my chérie. Okay. Michael, you're such a fine Southern gentleman. Wow, thank you so much. I do declare. See, that's the thing. When you put on that big highfalutin Southern accent, you can get away with a lot. You're like, whoa, the traffic was terrible coming home, but oh, I love the smell of the magnolias. And doesn't that bra offend you, my darling? Because it certainly offends me. Why don't you let the babes loose? Let them breathe in that Southern accent. And she'll start unbuttoning because you're saying it with eloquence, you know. Well, I do believe you should grasp a hold of that patio railing and prepare with a rebel yell, I shall. Okay. All right. We have a few minutes left for JFK. Oh, and before I forget, big stand-up show tomorrow night at the Columbus Funny Bone. The Columbus Funny Bone. There are a few tickets left, but you want to get them. Don't mess around. Get them. Yeah, and then also this weekend, Saturday night, myself, Dave Landau, the American Misfits, we're up at the Roxy Theater in the greater Detroit area. I believe that it's Rochester, but it's like, I guess it's relatively close to Detroit. The first show is sold out, so thank you. I can't wait to see all you guys. The first show is sold out, and there's a few tickets left for the second show at 9:00. So thank you guys so much for coming out and supporting the live activities. Come to Phoenix, you heathen. I'd love to. Phoenix is a good town. I had some good times in Phoenix back in the day. Oh, if Phoenix and I could talk. Yeah. Yeah. That's a story. That's a story for the podcast, not for here. We want to. Will you ever be in Rockford, Illinois? Will I ever be in Rockford, Illinois? Is that close to DeKalb, home of the flying corn cob? Let's talk about JFK. I could talk about towns and cities and my travels and all that good stuff. Wish I could afford those Facebook tickets. Jack from Columbus. Oh, FB means funny bone. You can do it, Tim. You're a man of means. What is it? Are they crazy? Let's not even talk about that. Let's talk about John F. Kennedy, and let's talk about the JFK files that were just released. I'm still watching. I'm still waiting. I think it might have been Joe Rogan last night, because everybody was like, "Where are the files? Where are the files?" And then they dropped them, and it was just. And I put the link on Facebook, and it was working for me. I tested it a bunch of times, and people were like, "The link's not working." So maybe it was just jam packed with people. But Rogan had the idea of like, take all the files, feed them into Grok. Or feed them into Chat GPT and see what it says, which I'm like, oh, that's really smart. That's really smart. And then people were sifting through and finding stuff. And then there was like thousands of more documents later. So I think I don't trust the AI. And I certainly don't trust the AI's findings. And I've seen a couple people go, oh, I fed this into Grok, and Grok said there's nothing in there. What AI does is it reflects your bias. Do you remember when people were like, hey, such and such AI, send me a picture, create an image of the founding fathers. And it was making like George Washington was black, and it was just all craziness. There's a bias kind of built into that. And I'm not going to trust anything that any one of these AI come out with. Here's what I find is interesting. I find it's interesting. It looks like George Bush Sr. was in Dallas on the day, then made a move over to Houston, whatever, like established a quick, oh, I was in Houston all day. No, dude, they got you in Dallas and not Houston. And then he says that when they asked him about that day in Dallas, old George Bush Sr.'s like, you know what? I can't. It was a long time ago. Don't remember where I was. Are you kidding me? You don't know. You didn't know where they make movies about people's recollections of where they were. That's like, I know exactly where I was on 9/11. Yeah, I don't think there's a soul on American or God's green earth that doesn't. If you were alive back then, you knew where you were. So I find that very suspicious. I find there's another document about this dude named Underhill, who made quite a few statements about, Jack Ruby and MLK and Lee Harvey Oswald. This guy said a bunch of stuff, and then he went out of town, and poor fella had a heart attack unexpectedly. So God bless Trump, God bless Trump, God bless Trump. I'm with you, Bill Randolph. I'm with you. Precious says, I was 3 months old and I remember where I was. Yeah, right? Yeah, so here's what I know. I know John F. Kennedy was less than thrilled with the Central Intelligence Agency. I know that Eisenhower had warned about the military-industrial complex. I'm just one of those people, and this is the problem with the intelligence apparatus and all this stuff in this country. When they've kept these files secret for like 60 years, oh, we can't release these to the public, you guys. And then they finally release them. You're like, that was it? They're either we're missing something, or there's a lot more out there that just they're never going to let us see. I remember where I was when the Challenger exploded. You will remember traumatic. Yeah. Same here. All right, so we've gone a few minutes over. I want to say a couple of words about Maryland. No, not Maryland. Although, Can you blame John Kennedy? Can you can you blame him? I can't. If you anyway, Maryland, God, boom, Marilyn Monroe. All right. I think what Elon Musk and SpaceX did the other day was so incredibly cool, and I don't want anybody to take it lightly. That and this also goes to the other side and their lack of humanity, because that's what they always wrap themselves up in. Oh, we just care so deeply. We have to fund all this USAID stuff. We have to let these people, because if one person is hurt, they didn't rescue the astronauts on the space station, because if their spaceship, which was not a good one, boing, if something would have gone wrong, it would have been bad optics and it would have hurt Kamala Ding Dong's chances in the election. That was the calculation they made. We're not going to help you because it's going to maybe harm our chances of getting this thing. That's who they are. They do not care who gets hurt. They do not. So for Elon Musk to go, listen, our rocket is really super reliable. We can go up there and get them. Then Biden and the gang, they didn't want to get showed up, because remember, they had a big electric vehicle symposium at the White House, and they didn't invite Elon Musk. And every time he tried to launch a rocket, they were like, "Oh, we have to see the environmental impact. What if a shark is startled by the loud noises? Have you even studied that? The EPA has a few." It was like Gulliver's Travels with the government just trying to hold Elon down, so that we still have Elon on board. And this is the thing I'll always be grateful for, that Trump kept in the race, that Trump kept going. That moment in Butler when his first instinct is to pop up and raise his fist, that tells you everything. The guy is losing money taking the. I know I was saying this last week. Elon is losing money with this gig. Donald is losing money with this gig. Pete Hegseth is losing money with this gig. These people are doing this because the country was going in the wrong direction, and they're doing everything to be honorable and just and get this country going again. It's awesome. I was thrilled to watch that. I love the rockets. I love Starship. I love the idea of going to Mars. Let's get a base on the moon. When that freaking capsule came down and landed, and you're like, "Oh, they made it. They made it. They made it." And then, I hope you saw this, the Dolphins. It was like, if you would have seen it in the movie, you wouldn't have believed it. There's freaking dolphins jumping around and swimming, and you're like, I don't know how this gets any better. They're rescued by a businessman who's working for probably definitely the best president of my lifetime. It's been fantastic. JFK was ready to sacrifice anyone to get. Listen, with JFK, I'm not going to get into anymore. Listen, that dude, I don't think we know what happened. And Oswald, that's going to be a tough one. Okay, you guys are all fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing the videos and for support. And if you're sending hearts, and if you've signed up on Locals and Patreon, like you want to, so just listen to that voice who tells you the things to do. Do that. You're all fantastic. Have a wonderful week. I'll see you tomorrow at the Funny Bone. I will see you Saturday in Michigan, and then the weekend after that, Spokane. it's so many travels. There's new content all the time. There's always new stuff at the loftusparty.com. I think tomorrow there's going to be a new recipe up. Last week was mac and cheese. It was insane. You guys are the best. Keep a spring in your step and a song in your heart, and whatever you do, stay away from those pants. Why are the pants still on? I'll talk to you soon.